Hey everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Bali Frequency podcast. I'm your host, Bali Shah. You know the saying, the body keeps count? Well, your body always keeps count. Your mind forgets or may forget, but your body always keeps count. Unfortunately, talk therapy is not beneficial for everyone. However, there are somatic therapy and exercises like the frequencies that I offer that can help. Practices such as Pilates. Pilates is a way of releasing tension, stored emotions, or any energy that you may be holding in intentionally or unintentionally. And today's episode feels very special because I get to invite my dear and longest friend, Anshita Oberoi. Hello!
Hi! Thank you so much for inviting me.
Of course,
Such an honor to be here.
Of course. My girl. For those who don't know, Anshu and I have been friends since we were 11 and 12 years old. And so it's such a privilege, to see each other grow. And Anshita is a Pilates instructor. She actually started her journey in 2022 as a student. And just last year in 2025, she became an instructor and she's just been on the go. Thank you for coming here. And today we're going to be talking about Anshita and her journey and what it's like to, have dive into this new journey and chapter in her life. So Anshu, tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm so excited to be here, first of all. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here.
Of course.
Just like Bali said, I started Pilates in 2022. I would go for a bunch of different classes and instantly fell in love with Pilates. And I knew that I wanted to be an instructor almost instantly. But the timing never aligned. And I was just holding myself back, to be very honest. I just never pulled the plug to actually going for the training. And one day I just woke up in the summer in 2025 and I decided, okay, I got my credit card. I searched up a bunch of different places, paid, didn't do any research, didn't look up the teachers that I was going to be learning from, absolutely did nothing apart from pay. I closed my laptop. And then I did some reflection that I have not researched or done anything at all. But luckily, and truly, it's just the universe's blessing that I was aligned with such a beautiful teacher that walked me through the process of Pilates with such a beautiful community and officially got certified as a mat instructor. And instantly from there, I knew, okay, the next step is getting my reformer training, did my reformer training, and then officially started teaching last year as well. Started teaching in Toronto, did mat classes and reformer classes, and then currently situated in Nairobi, where I'm also teaching here mat and reformer. And it's been such a pleasure to teach so many different clients across so many different studios with different backgrounds, with injuries, with non-injuries. And I'm so excited to share with everyone my Pilates journey as well. But thank you again, Bali, for calling me on the Frequency podcast.
Crazy. You just said, yeah, okay, today is the day. Yes. But I guess that's how it is. Like when you decide and you just feel you're ready, you just get that intensive push. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this today and that's it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's also how my podcast came along. Like I've been thinking for so long, like, should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? Should I not? And suddenly I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. And this was very recent, right? Like today is what? Today is the 8th. This was on the 29th, and between 29th of December, 29th of December to the 2nd, I'd already sat and recorded 2 episodes because I was like, you know what? Like, when you get that drive and you feel like you just want to do something, you just instantly, you just shift timelines and you're like, you know what? Push it. Like, whatever happens, like, I feel like it's always in here, but then until you execute it and you're just like, I can't hold back, is when you start like chasing whatever you want,
100%. When you're ready for something, when you're ready for anyone, you're ready for someone, it will come. You can yearn for it as much, but when it's the right time, it'll just happen. And that's exactly what happened with both of us. Yeah.
Okay, first question. What's harder, mat or reformer? What do you like in particular?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I'm going to be very honest with you. I think mat is more difficult because it requires you to actually use a lot of your core strength. as opposed to reformer. With the reformer, there's a lot of resistance. So you could technically cheat or use a lighter weight as opposed to with a mat where you actually have to carry your own body weight. And mat is also more challenging because your posture matters a lot in mat. To avoid any injuries, to avoid any aches, to avoid any lactic acid being built up in your body, you have to obey to the 5 principles of Pilates. Reformer, the bed is actually cushioned. So I think, in my opinion, that the mat is much more difficult compared to the reformer. And I personally love doing the mat because I think it shapes you so much faster as opposed to the reformer. But the reformer is really, really good if you have any injuries. So again, depends on yourself. But personally, that's what I love. You need to come for a class.
I do. I've been singing this since last year and I've not made it. And the reason I've not made it is actually because I just feel like I'm not flexible or like I'm not fit enough. And I just wanted to know what's your take on that and like how do you feel about um introducing Pilates, So, for example, if I came for your class and I know I'm already in a stage where I don't feel flexible enough, are there any certain practices that you do when you begin or any intention setting to kind of ease a ease the client into the session?
100%. So my classes are actually very mindful. Before and after the class, we do intention setting, and I encourage clients before the class to get rid of any thoughts that they might have. Before the class, if there was anything that was clouding their brain or any plans that they might have after the class, I encourage people to be extremely present in that class so that they can actually feel their body, they can hear themselves breathe, they can feel how their body is responding to every single movement. So before the class, I usually set on some calming music that we could get acclimatized to the tone and the atmosphere. And then from there, we'll obviously build up. Pilates is low intensity, but it is also very challenging. So every time I every time I deal with beginners or clients that are new to Pilates or new to my teaching style, I usually do a beginner class. And during this time, we do an assessment of your body, but my goal as an instructor is to make you feel as comfortable as possible, to listen to your own body and not feel like you're in competition with those around you or with the instructor. Pilates is a very intentional movement. There are 5 core principles actually, which is control, concentration, precision, flow, breathing, which I walk you through throughout the class. There's so many different types of forms and so many different types of movements where we embody these 5 principles. But there's no need to fear. It is such a fun experience. And I'm sure when you come, you're going to keep coming back. It is lovely. And for any beginner out there, the first step is always just to start. So it's always nerve-wracking. We all self-sabotage, but when you come and do it, you absolutely love it.
It's on the vision board this year, so now I just have to go for a class. Like, I'm so excited to try it out and, come for one of your classes. Whenever you look at social media, you see yoga classes, you see Pilates classes, like they seem to flow so easily, quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
But like from your shift, I keep talking about student, I will keep talking about student to teacher because I feel like your understanding of the practice or the way you want to, again, we keep using the word intention, but like your intention towards your practice or the way your classes are, like I'm sure there's a lot of planning that goes into it. So what is that like, and do you feel like everything that you plan is what you execute?
That's a really good question. So there is a lot of planning, like you mentioned. A lot of instructors will set a little flow of movements that we want to execute during the class. However, obviously, what is on paper does not mean is what is in reality. There, you have to be able to read the room. So my job as an instructor is to be able to carry the energy in the room. And there's a lot of different clients with different backgrounds, with different injuries, with different goals. And it's important for me to be able to adjust, to be able to provide modifications to every single client in the room. So sometimes, for example, if I provide a hip movement and someone who has had a hip replacement or a hip injury, that doesn't necessarily mean that I will teach that movement in class, especially knowing that the client is going through something of sort. So, of course, it's very important for me to be able to think on the spot of different movements, different modifications. However, obviously, it is very important for us to know what we're going to be teaching as well during the class. And Joseph Pilates also has a classical 36 steps, 36 movements that we can tick off at any time.
So, what's your experience like, or how do you feel like Pilates has shaped you as a teacher and as a student, like in class and out of class?
Oh, that's a lovely question. As a student, I would usually go for classes and I wasn't intentional about anything that I was doing. So I would go there 55 minutes, do the workout, leave, and I would do whatever the instructor said. I didn't know how the movement was impacting my body. I didn't know how it was impacting my mind. I would simply go because it just made me feel really accomplished. It made me feel good. But now, as a shift to an instructor, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know how it impacts me. And it's my job as an instructor to now provide that education and knowledge to my clients. Because when you're aware of how something impacts you, you're motivated to actually do the movement and you understand your body better. You understand your mind better. And it's so much more fun when you know why. We're all searching the purpose of life. We're all searching the why. And when you are aware of the why, it's so much better.
Oh my God, I love that.
And I'd say that has been like the biggest shift as a student to instructor as well. That now everything I do is so much more purposeful, especially in Pilates. And I've been able to embody this in my personal life as well. So beyond just Pilates, the 5 principles that I spoke about, for example, concentration, I'm now actually be able to concentrate on a specific task. Not always. I'm actually able to concentrate on a specific task without doing anything else. I'm able to do intentional breathing. Before, I didn't even know how to breathe. I would inhale, exhale just for the fun of it because we all breathe. But I didn't know actually the different types of breathing techniques. And in Pilates as an instructor, you learn these different types of techniques. Again, my job as an instructor to teach clients what are the different types of breathing? How do you breathe when you're doing a specific exercise? What is the importance of breathing? Why do you breathe? Why do you need to exhale? And I always provide a safe environment in my class because, especially as women, we feel scared of exhaling really loud. I don't know what it is, but I've noticed that we don't want to do during class. We feel embarrassed of it. And
like,
yeah, we want to do it really softly. It's like when you're in a new relationship, you don't want to poop in front of them because
poop? I don't do that. What is that?
Exactly. So it's very important to know the different types of breathing. And again, goes back to that purpose. So I'd say being an instructor versus a student has been a very different experience, each of which was amazing and brilliant.
That's really interesting you say that, because even through my journey and the healing work that I do, or like the therapy, when I started out as a mental health advocate on social media, I kept talking about understanding.
Yeah.
And what I felt about my body, or me in particular, is that if I did not understand what's going on, I would go into a panic. So I feel like understanding, or like just having that basic education, helps you to calm down.
Yeah.
So for example, I mean, when you do any sort of healing, you go through a purge or an energetic release. And this can be through, crying or a rash or going to the washroom a lot. And that's just like any stored energy releasing from your body. And so these are the things that I have to educate my client on before they leave the session. So they know that, okay, it's not like you've come for the session and it's done and that's the end of it. Like the release still happens for about 24 hours to a week long. And this is what can come up. And obviously, I am there, like you said, to guide you through it. And what I've seen is that my clients feel more relaxed or more aware about what's going to happen. So in case they go through it, once again, not everyone goes through it, but in case they go through it, they know what's going on.
100%.
And that also brings you a lot of safety in it. I see, I'd seen a video some time ago on TikTok, and it was a girl, and she said, you know what, I just went for a Pilates class, and within 5 minutes I was out because they'd done, I guess, hip openers. And she said, all of a sudden, I just started crying so much.
Oh.
And so I just wanted to understand your take on it. Do you believe that there are also emotional and physical releases during Pilates, like during the session and after?
100%. And it is such a mentally challenging movement to do as well. Sometimes you feel defeated. I've gone for classes where I feel like I'm an absolute failure because I cannot do what I can usually do, or there are days where my body just cannot move at all, and I don't feel great about it. And it happens to everyone. Every day is a different experience. Every day you are mentally and physically challenged in Pilates. And it is an emotional release, 100%. There are days where I come out feeling deflated, completely deflated. And I feel like I want to cry right after. And that movement, it's like you said, there's so much energy and tension that is stored in our body that can come out through rashes, could come out through various different forms. And one of this is actually through crying as well. Sometimes when you're doing a movement, something could feel not great. And you don't understand why, but you are just crying. And it's important, again, to have that self awareness, to go back and feel intentional and to reflect on how your body is feeling and why your body is feeling this way. And Pilates does just that. It's very intentional. It's a very safe setting where you actually are able to understand your body really, really well. And movements allow you to release that tension as well that your body has been holding on for years.
Okay. And do you feel like your relationship with your mind and your body has shifted or changed since you started Pilates? Like, not even just as an instructor, but just generally?
Yeah, 100%. I would definitely say it improved my self awareness a lot. My relationship with my body has become so much more better. I am genuinely shocked on what my body can do. There's honestly no limits. It's truly just my own self sabotage on what I've allowed my body to do and what it's capable of doing. And I truly don't even know my own limits. I think there's so much more that I could achieve. For example, I have never run in my life. I ran a 10K last year, I ran a 5K, and then the previous year I ran a 10K. Crazy, right?
Dude, the Anshita I remember could not even like walk up the stairs. So I'm hearing running
Exactly.
and 10K and 5K, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. And my relationship with my mind has become so much more better because now I know that if I put an intention onto doing something, I'm able to actually follow through. And irregardless of how I'm feeling, actually just persevering, taking on that responsibility to do that task, whatever it is. And so now I feel physically so much more better. And I am so excited to see what I can do more physically. For example, recently I've played tennis twice and I already feel like I want to become a professional tennis player, which obviously I'm not going to do, not because of sabotage, but obviously I don't want to, but I really, really enjoy it. And it's crazy to think that previously, when I was probably 10, 11, or 13, I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to do anything that was physically demanding at all. And it's been such a big shift, but it's amazing to see what my mind and my own body can do.
That's amazing to hear. I can see you shift. I mean, I've seen you grow so much, and I just want to say, even your aura has shifted. In the past, like, year that I've seen you since like last year before you started the Pilates. Because let me tell you, when I met her again, I was just like, oh my God, Anshita, you're a Pilates girly. I'm so proud of you because I remember when we were growing up, I was a yapper, of course, couldn't keep my mouth shut. And Anshita was very like in her shell and very quiet. So it's nice to see her radiate and be more confident and be more open, even as a person, into like experiences. And it's just so wholesome to see that shift in you.
Oh, thank you so much. Honestly, I think teaching pushes your boundaries. It allows you to be confident because you have to be able to respond to so many different clients. You have to be able to provide that energy to different clients. And I'm sure you can attest to this. You deal with so many different clients every single day. What has your experience been like? Do you feel that physically, mentally, you've become a different person than who you used to be?
Yeah, like 100%. I feel more confident in myself, and I feel like the awareness that I got from therapy really helped to elevate that. Because, like I mentioned, the more you understand about yourself, you understand your patterns, you understand like your cycles and what you want to change. I feel like something that's really worked for me is communication. Um, and just like healthy communication, or knowing what's important to share or when to share it. Also, like when it comes to clients, you know, what's healthy and what's not healthy to share, to know your boundaries, to know when you're overstepping. Um, and then also just, I guess my work like that is a lot like yours, where you just have to feel the energy. You know, when you do the access bars or the facelift, you connect to the body of your client, and you see, okay, how much can the client take for this one session? For this one session, and you use your intuition and you guide it. And that's something that I've learned through therapy. Like trusting your intuition, trusting your body, and coming back home to your body, which I feel like that resonates a lot with, you know, the Pilates that you do.
100%. And I feel like both of us work in a service industry where clients are our main focus. And it goes back to, you know, providing that experience for them. So I 100% agree with you.
Whenever you start your fitness journey, it's very easy to become obsessed with something. Like, for example, I started walking, and now I love like my 8 to 10K. Unfortunately, I cannot say every single day. I am still trying, but like I kind of push myself to do it. So how has your relationship with like rest, recovery, and like working out, or like doing your Pilates, like has your relationship with this and your body changed?
Massively. So transparently, mine is the complete opposite of probably what you're thinking. I was a really lazy bum growing up. So my rest is less than it used to be. I was probably an oversleeper. Bali would knock on my door at like 10 a.m. and she'd be like, hello, let's go down to play. And I'd be like, I'm sleeping. Can you give me some time?
Should come like this, like,
exactly.
Who is at the door?
And now I'm resting much less. I feel like now I have a healthy balance with rest, with recovery, with working out. I never used to work out, so it's been an extreme for me, from going to nothing to obviously working out. However, I do feel like now I've been able to create a healthy routine where I'm able to incorporate the three really, really well and feel good about my body. I don't feel depleted, or I don't feel a lack of energy. Instead, now I'm feeling energized every time I'm doing Pilates. I'm feeling energized every time I'm doing classes. Obviously, there are times where it's difficult to do the three: rest, recovery, and actually working out. But I feel like I have a good balance now.
That's so lovely to hear. And do you feel like starting something new at this stage in your life, you know, in your mid-20s, has taught you something new about yourself?
100%. I think one of the biggest things that I've realized is I love, and I mean this, like, love being a beginner at things. I didn't realize that I actually love that challenge of doing something that I don't know how to do and becoming good at it really slowly. And Pilates was one of this thing. I wasn't good at it when I went for my teacher training, and slowly discovering my body, slowly learning to do things has been so rewarding. I actually love that feeling when I don't know how to do something and when I can learn it and provide and show people how to do it as well. It's such a lovely experience, and I'm sure you can attest to this. Bali's energy has changed so much. Ever since she started doing her tarot card reading, her facelift, she's become a whole different person. And I can attest to this because I've literally grown up with her. We both know each other in and out. And the person who she is now, how she carries herself, the energy she provides, not only to me, but to every single person she meets, whether she knows them or whether she doesn't know them. She provides such a lovely experience to them. And I'm sure if you're her client, you can probably attest to this as well.
Thank you.
So honestly, I'm so proud of you and who you've become. Genuinely, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you so much, Anshu. That's so sweet.
You're welcome.
Before we wrap up, I just wanted to ask you a final question. If you could go back to your younger self or before you started Pilates, what's one piece of advice you would share or you wish you would have, you can't tell, your younger self?
Full circle. So what I had started with is that I was self-sabotaging. I wasn't doing the damn thing. So the advice that I would give myself is honestly just do the damn thing. Even if it costs money, even if it costs time, do it. You genuinely don't know where anything can take you and how it can change your life completely 360. And invest in whatever you're passionate for. Everything costs money. So my advice to myself is just do the damn thing. You don't know what's going to change. You don't know what's going to happen. What about you? What would you tell yourself?
First of all, I love that. I absolutely love it. Just do the damn thing. Nike, are you listening? Do the beep. The advice that I would give myself is that it gets a lot better. Like after you get rid of all the yuck, things do get better and you get more happier and you get more fulfilled in life. And like I mentioned earlier, that when you do something that you feel is your purpose and you can see the shift or the happiness in your clients, I think it just brings you so much contentment and pushes you more to do what you're doing.
100%.
Especially when it's like you said, like it's a service-based, when it's a service-based service.
Service-based industry.
Yeah, service-based industry, and that just brings you a lot of happiness and that pushes you. And this is not advice I'd give my younger self, but it's just so nice because you broaden your mind or your mindset to new things. You meet new people from different ages and industries, and it just helps you network as well. I love it. So thank you so much, Anshu, for coming and for being part of the podcast today. So grateful to have you here. I loved how you shared your journey so openly, and I really love having had this conversation with you today, and just being part of your journey. Like I said, we've been friends for so long. It's so easy for friends to just drift apart, but it's so lovely to see how you've grown and to continue being a part of your journey. And I will go for a class. You know what? I'll even vlog it. Whenever I decide to come, I'm not going to be one of those who'll take a video during the class, because you'll just see me huffing and puffing the whole time. But I will definitely make sure that I come for a class. And you have convinced me very honestly to come for a class. So I'll definitely be doing that.
Let's hold her accountable. If you don't see her vlog soon, comment down that she did not show up.
Damn. Dang it. And thank you everyone for listening to today's podcast. If this episode resonated with you and there are certain guests that you would love to have featured on the Bali Frequency podcast, please comment down below. Please like and subscribe, and please sign up for one of Anshita's classes. I will be giving a nice long review as soon as I go for one. If this podcast resonated with you, take a moment and reflect and see what stayed with you. Maybe it's something about movement. Maybe it's something about just chasing your dreams or your goals or anything that you're passionate about. Or maybe it's just listening to your body. For more conversations like this, you can follow the podcast. Don't be afraid to also comment down below if you have any guests that you would like me to feature. See you in the next episode. Thank you so much, Anshu, for coming.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Peace out.
That is so millennial.